Are you tired of the common board games people always play? Are you looking for a new game that will make you strategize and plan? Do you care about the environment? Well, today's your lucky day. Introducing the ultimate strategic game about resource management and sustainable city growth.
Oh, it's the new BioConquer!
Hello everyone, my name is Marifer Carrillo.
I'm Jesus Romero, Edu Costa,
And Guillermo Duran.
And we are here to present our brand new board game.
BioConquer! This game comes from the needs of creating consciousness about the environment and its preservation. It's an entertaining scenario where people can socialize while learning about environmental issues.
This game combines 2 out of the 3 options given to us to develop. Resource management to create the perfect sustainable city.
We wanted to make this game as educational as possible, without risking the fun and competitivity that any strategic board game has.
We also wanted the players to connect to the game in a way where they realize the huge impact our day-to-day decisions cause to the planet.
The mechanics of the game are simple. We place the players in a scenario a few years into the future, where 4 of our most important resources, air, water, coal, and soil, are at a high risk of being completely contaminated or not available.
So now they're monopolized, owned by 4 different people, the players, who must take care of them.
The goal of the game is to negotiate resources with the other players and strategically build your game plan to build the perfect sustainable city. The first player to do so wins the game.
Before we begin explaining the rules of the game, there are some key concepts that are worth knowing before playing it. In the game, we talk about planetary boundaries, which are concepts developed by a group of scientists led by Johann Rockström that form a set of 9 planetary boundaries within which humanity can continue to develop and thrive for generations to come. The 9 planetary boundaries are climate change, novel entities, stratospheric ozone depletion, atmospheric aerosol depletion, ocean acidification, biochemical flows, freshwater use, land system change, and biosphere integrity.
Every city develops wastewater, which is water that has been used by industries or by people on their daily routines and needs to be treated as it's usually contaminated. Characteristics such as physical, chemical, microbiological, and radiological can let us know levels of pollution in water.
Air quality should be monitored for the overall health of the population. Air is usually polluted by the sulfur oxides, carbon monoxide, nitrogen oxide, hydrocarbons, and particles.
Soil pollution is defined as the buildup in soils of persistent toxic compounds, chemicals, salts, radioactive materials, or disease-causing agents, which have adverse effects on plant growth and animal health. While creating the game, defining our target market was of supreme importance given the theme of the game. We defined the game would be expected to be played by people 13 years old and up. Given the environmental and strategic nature of the game, it is expected to attract both people interested in the preservation of our environment and people interested in games that involve planning and strategizing. Now, the rules are simple. The game must be played by 4 people, 1 for each resource. The perfect city is made of a lake, a farm, a house complex, and an eco-industrial plant. Each city is ranked in order of complexity to build from the previous rule. And you can get to the more complex component without going through the simpler ones first.
Each player owns unique resource: air, water, soil, or coal, randomly. Player rolls one dice. If the number is 1, the player gives one of his resources to water.
If the number is 2, the player gives one of his resources to air. If the number is 3, the player gives one of his resources to soil. If the number is 4, the player gives one of his resources to coal.
If the number in the dice is 5, he gets to steal or negotiate from a player he chooses. He can choose only one player to negotiate with, and only one resource can be negotiated. If the number is 6, he gets a mystery card, which could help him or hinder him. Mystery cards help you by giving you a whole pack of resources, allowing you to steal resources from your opponents or giving you the choice to pick a resource. Mystery cards can hinder you by making you violate a planetary boundary, contaminating one of your city components, or making you give out your resources to your opponents.
The players must strategically gather the resources to build different components of the perfect city. When a player gets more than 10 same resources that are not his own, they must give back half to the owner of the resource. Lake is built from 2 water and 2 soil. Farm is built from 1 water, 1 soil, 1 air, and 1 coal.
A house complex is built from 3 water, 3 soil, 3 air, and 3 coal. An eco-industrial plant is built from 7 water, 7 soil, 7 air, and 7 coal. Player who gets the eco-industrial plant first wins.
As for problems in the development of the game, we found the living log out of the game was quite difficult. So trying to make it as strategical as possible took some time and planning. We had several meetings in order to design the game as best as we could, and we visited the Dragon board games to meet with the experts and get their insight in what we should do and how we should design the game.
To conclude, Buy Conquer is the ultimate game of strategy and environmental awareness. With it, we relate having a fun time amongst friends with learning about environmental issues such as the violation of planetary boundaries, wastewater management and processing, and the exploitation of non-renewable resources.
We also raise awareness of our day-to-day decisions impacting the environment and, most importantly, about the actual and future situation of the world we live in how to avoid ending in a world like the BioConquer game is set on.
As engineering students, we have the future in our hands, and we feel like it is our responsibility to create consciousness about the negative impact that our day-to-day decisions can have on the environment, that can come from incorrectly handling our waste to managing an industrial plant. We feel like BioConquer is an exceptional tool to create this consciousness about the environment while having fun, therefore learning from an entertaining social experience.